So here's a common problem with these propane torch heaters. You can light it, it's lit. As soon as you take your hand off to adjust it, the flame goes out. So I can light it, still running, still creating heat. As soon as I take my hand off to adjust it, flame goes right back out. So stick around, I'll show you how to fix this. So we picked this heater up at an estate sale. It's pretty decent shape. These run anywhere from $120 to $150, and they originally had it listed for $75, and we were able to get them down to $40 because it didn't work. We had that issue that we just showed you. So I'm going to do a series of steps here to get to what I need to get to fix this. But real quick, before I go through anything, what I want to check and what the common problem is the switch back here goes bad. So the switch that goes bad in these that are right back here, the whole purpose behind this switch is if this thing were to tip over, it's going to deactivate the switch and turn the gas off. All I got to do to get to the switch is remove this screw right here, and then this knob right here will pull right off. So that'll pull off, and you can see it just slides right in there onto that shaft right here. So now that we've done that, I got to take the screw out, and I'll show you where the switch is inside. All right, so I just removed this screw real quick. So this cover will pull up and out, and right inside here is the switch. You guys can see the switch right here. I went ahead and unhooked it. What you have to do is these connections go here and then back behind here. And I've pulled those off. I had to get a pair of pliers in there to remove them. And I'll show you how to test that switch to see if that's your problem. All right, so for this step, I have two pieces of wire, strand wire, just stripped down. And what I want to do is slide them in each side of the terminal and then slide them into the other connection right there. All right, so I have a good connection here between the two connections. So I'm just gonna put this cover back on and then reinstall the knob just so I don't shock myself as I'm trying to ignite this. All right, so I'm just gonna put my knob back into place. All right, so everything's back in place. I'm gonna go ahead and just go through the process of lighting the heater. So everything's lit. You can hear it and see it. It's already getting hot. So we just bypassed the switch. That tells us that our switch is bad. Now what we got to do is turn everything back off. Just let everything cool down. And what we're going to have to do is take off the top hood and then some of this up here. We'll go through each of the steps on how to do that. All right, so we're going to go ahead and come over. Just to make things lighter and easier, we're going to go ahead and unhook the gas right down here and turn everything off. Okay, propane is out. All right, so now I'm just going to lean the whole torch down just so I can get access up here to the top, right up here to the top. Take the hood off. All right, removing the hood, we just have 3 wing nuts here we're going to take off. All right, so now I got a series of screws around the top here I'm going to take off all the way around there. So a series of screws, I'm going to take all those off. Okay, so now the screws are out. This whole piece right here will disconnect, and now we could just slide this off. Carefully slide this piece off. All right, now we have access to the switch. Okay, here's the switch we've been trying to get at. All we gotta do now is remove these 2 screws right here. And you can see these are the terminals that we had to disconnect earlier to jump our wires together. These 2 connectors here go right onto those 2 terminals. And the switch comes right out. All right, so this is our replacement switch, and here's our old switch. I'll put a link in the description and in the comments on Amazon for this new switch here. There's the 2 switches side by side. They should fit right in exactly the same and connect with those terminals. This is the new switch, and this is the old one. So to show you guys how these switches work, it's the safety switch, and if you hear it, that's the mechanism inside that sits down inside here and will allow these 2 terminals to connect. If it falls over, it disconnects and acts as that safety switch. So here I'm going to connect my 2 leads. And if you could see, in the down position, see how they're connected, falls over, disconnects. Back upright, makes a connection, tilts, falls over, disconnects. So that's how the safety switch operates. So the new switch, put our screws back in. And line those 2 holes up, and I'm gonna just drill them back in. Okay, got my 2 screws in, screwed back in. Here's my jumper wire. And you can tell the way these were set up before. This one was the lower one, and this one was the upper one. So just get them lined back up with the terminals. You want to do this step now before you get everything back together. All right, so now I just need to line everything up, get my screws back in here, and strengthen this whole piece back up. So as you're putting this back together, it makes it easier if you just get it around the top here, and then just squeeze it into place, and it'll kind of set itself back up inside here. And as long as you can get a couple of these screws started, you should be good to go. So something else to note for this step is there's 2 different size screws. On here, the larger ones go on the bottom, and the skinnier, smaller ones go up top. Just as simple as aligning this back up to each hole and putting each screw back inside. All right, I just got to line my holes up on my canopy. Everything's buttoned back up. Just got to put our gas back in and turn it back on, and we'll test everything. Just in case anybody doesn't know how to hook or unhook the gas up, just turn it off right up top here, and then this will unscrew left to loosen, right to tighten. I got it all hooked back up. Everything's nice and tight. I'm gonna go ahead and turn the gas back on. All right, gas is turned back on. Let's go up top and we'll test everything out. Didn't quite go as planned. As I was putting this back together, this connector here broke. All right, so I just went ahead and put a new connector on here. I'm gonna reattach everything and test everything out. All right, so I got a new connector on there. I use these pliers here, Pittsburgh pliers I got from Harbor Freight, to kind of just get back inside here, grab it, and work it back onto the terminal. It's what I had to do. I didn't feel like taking everything back apart again. All right, so got everything reconnected once again. So turn everything on. And we're lit. And we're back in business. The switch was the problem, which we tested at the beginning. Now everything's working once again. And I don't know if you can see the flame in there, but it is getting hot. And we're good to go. That's going to do it for the video, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment if you have any questions. Thanks.